When you're working on a file in Animate, there are some timeline controls down here that make some things a little bit easier. And if you hover over it, of course, they tell you exactly what they do. But if I'm working on a frame here and I just want to quick jump to the next keyframe, this jumps, and you can see it skips a whole lot of frames because there's no keyframe here. It jumps to the very next keyframe available, and vice versa if I go in reverse to the back. So you can flip between keyframes. This will step back just one keyframe. So this on these buttons here, it's going on a keyframe. It's just going to the very next frame and back a frame. So this will jump you to an actual keyframe. This button just jumps you between frames. And of course we have the onion skinning button. And the onion skinning button is kind of a sample as to what's going on in the last keyframe and then what's happening in the next keyframe. So it's a lighter green for these two letters because it's on this frame 9 right now, but it's looking at frame 10 and it's giving it in dark green. I can change this, and now it's giving you a little hint about the C that's to come on frame 15, but that's the onion skinning. It's kind of giving you a little an idea of what is to come and what's already on the screen so that you can and you can adjust this. I can drag this back and forth. I can make this smaller or bigger depending on how many frames that I want to. So we're just taking a look at some of these tools. We know how to hit play, and when we run through it, it'll play through wherever the playhead was and it goes to the end. But there is this button that will loop. So if I hit play, it's looping just this section. I want it to loop the whole movie, so I'm going to go back to the beginning and hit play, but because this button is now selected, it plays through the movie that I've made and it loops it. It starts all over from the beginning. So if you want to, I don't want it to stop just at the end. I want to see it. Some other things, if I decide that I want the word black to be a little bit of a different color. I don't want it to be white anymore. I want it to be my other color that I use for Black Creek work. There's this button right here that allows me to edit frames. So I'd be editing just these frames right now, but I want to edit everything in this region. And then once I select the region I want to edit, I'm going to select all of these frames for black. I don't want to select anything for creek, so I didn't highlight for creek. I just want to select black. And I'm going to go to my text tools and change this to whatever color. That's not my color, but that'll work. And then if I hit the I'm done editing tool, it changed all of those frames to have that coloring now because I had select. So I can edit frames. If I make a mistake, I can select what frames I want to edit. This tool, let me show you on just a separate file what this tool does. I just didn't want to change that other file. If I draw a box and then insert a keyframe on 40 and then move the box, I have just that box there, and when it hits frame 40, it's in the next spot. But if I click on this button right here, I'm sorry, because I'm on that frame, it's tweening from that point on. But I want to tween from this frame, so I moved my playhead and hit the tween button, and it adds tweening, so now it's animated with a tween. So you can use these buttons as well. The only other button I want to show you is this button. So just continuing with this square, I can come out to 45. Let's go to 50 and add a keyframe. This is a really quick way to insert a keyframe if I just want to point and click. I don't have to right click insert keyframe. I can just, if I'm holding my mouse and I just want to use my mouse, I can click on the frame and or put my playhead on the frame that I want a keyframe and hit this button right here. So it's a little bit about these tools above the timeline.